Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Dinesh Jinger, working as scientist in the Division of Agronomy and Soil Science at ICAR, Indian Institute of Soil and Water Conservation Research Center, Chandigarh. Today, I'll be speaking on rehabilitation and productive utilization of ravines through bioengineering measures. This topic is crucial because ravine affected areas represent one of the most severely degraded landscapes in India, posing both environmental and socio-economic challenges. So, my topic will cover six main aspects. Number one, genesis of ravines, how ravines are formed. Then, what are the morphological and soil features of ravines? Then, what are the environmental impacts of the ravines? Then, how we can manage the ravines land, and thereafter how we can productively utilize the ravine land, and then finally conclusions and the recommendation. So let us begin with understanding what ravines are and how they form. Ravines are deep, narrow, and steep sided valleys formed due to prolonged gully erosion caused by running water. They represent the most advanced stage of gully erosion, where the land becomes highly dissected and almost unfit for cultivation. Locally, ravines are known by different names like Bihad in Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, Khal in Rajasthan, and Kotar in Gujarat. In essence, ravines are the worst form of land degradation by water. Now we will come to know how ravine develops. The development of ravine is a gradual but a destructive process. It begins with splash erosion, followed by sheet erosion that removes the top soil. As runoff continues, small channels or rills are formed which eventually deepen into gullies. When several gullies join and expand laterally and vertically, they form large, deep ravines. Hence, the ravine is the final expression of unchecked soil erosion. Now we will discuss about the features of different gullies. Gullies are generally categorized into three types based on their depth: shallow gullies, medium gullies, and deep gullies. Shallow gullies have less than 3 meter depth and generally have U shape. These gullies are easily manageable with simple vegetative and structural measures. Second one, medium gullies. Medium gullies have 3 to 9 meter depth and they either have V or U shape, and they require check dams and vegetative stabilization. Deep gullies have more than 9 meter depth and generally they have V shape. So, this classification helps in selecting the appropriate rehabilitation technology. So, is crop production possible in ravines? Actually, in most ravinous region, small and marginal farmers depend on subsistence agriculture. However, progressive gully and ravine expansion deprive them of cultivable land, forcing many to migrate or work as laborers. It is often said that extending ravines are footprints of death for cultivators. Therefore, our goal is not only land stabilization but also restoring livelihood opportunities. So, ravines occupy approximately 3.67 million hectares in India. The largest areas are found in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, and Gujarat. These landscapes are concentrated along the major river systems such as Yamuna, Chambal, Mahi, and Tapi basins. The rehabilitation thus has national significance for both land and water resource management. Now we will discuss about the morphological and soil features of ravine. Ravines are highly dissected landscape with deep gullies, steep side walls, and irregular interflows, which means elevated land and ridges. Ravine depth ranges from 3 meter to more than 30 meters in severe cases. The valley floor or gully beds are very narrow, which often representing the exposed subsoil. The soils are generally sandy loam to clay loam with low infiltration and high runoff potential. Such areas show frequent slough failures, high sediment yield, and poor vegetation cover, making them ecologically fragile. The causes of ravine formation are both natural and anthropogenic. Natural causes include soil texture, rainfall intensity, slope, and lack of vegetation cover. Human-induced factors like deforestation, overgrazing, faulty cultivation practices, and unplanned mining further accelerate the erosion. Hence, integrated management combining ecological and human consideration is vital. Now we will discuss about the environmental and socio-economic impacts of the ravines. Ravines leads to severe soil loss, reduced biodiversity, and siltation of reservoirs and canals. They also cause livelihood loss, poverty, and migration among rural communities. Therefore, rehabilitation is not merely an ecological requirement but also it is a social and economic necessity. So let us now move into management and restoration approaches, beginning with shallow ravines. The first approach is peripheral bunds, which are also known as marginal bunds. Peripheral bunds are earthen structures constructed along the periphery of the tableland. They provide protection from the ingress by surrounding gully system. They are generally constructed at a distance of 2 to 3 times of gully depth from the gully head, and a spillway is also provided to handle expected peak flow. Usually 1.2 meter square cross section with 1.1 to 0.2 grade is given. They helps in moisture conservation by 15 to 20%, and the top width is kept 0.5 meter and the sides slope is 1:1.5 to 1:2 in case of sandy soil and 1:1 to 1:1.15 in case of clay soil is given. So these are the some of the picture. This picture from the Chambal ravines and these picture are from the Mahi ravines. Land leveling is another approach to manage the shallow ravines. Land leveling is reshaping of the field surface to a desired slope. It controls the flow of water and assure even distribution and provide adequate surface drainage. The uniform slopes enhance water use efficiency and promote in situ water conservation. It creates uniform land surface which ultimately reduce runoff, erosion and improve the infiltration. In land leveling there are 3 phases: rough grading, land leveling and land smoothing. In rough grading, which removes abrupt irregularities like dunes, ridges, filling of pits and gullies. In case of land leveling, which require moving large quantities of earth over considerable distances. Then last one is land smoothing. In this, irregular surface is removed and a plain surface is obtained. The another approach is contour bunds, which are also known as level terrace. Contour bunds are earthen embankment constructed along the contour lines. They intercept the runoff flowing down the slope, and commonly 0.6 meter height is practiced in the ravine region of India. They are suitable where the slope is 2 to 6% and the average annual rainfall is less than 800 mm. They are suitable for relatively permeable soils like alluvial, red, lateritic or medium black soil. The most important thing is that they are not suitable for clay-rich black cotton soils. So to protect the contour bund from breaching, west weir are constructed, and the length of contour bund is considered as 350 meter per hectare with 2% slope. The next approach is graded bunds, which are also known as channel terrace. Graded bunds are recommended for the areas receiving rainfall more than 750 mm, particularly in soils having infiltration rate less than 8 mm per hour. They are also recommended in the areas receiving less rainfall where the rainwater is not readily absorbed into the soil due to low infiltration rate like clay soil. To facilitate safe disposal of runoff water by slow movement, graded bunds are planned along a predetermined longitudinal grade. In graded bunds, normally 0.2 to 0.4% grade is provided at about 50 to 60 meter interval on moderate slope, and normally the height of graded bund is kept up to 0.6 meter, and the cross sectional area is kept up to 0.6 meter square. Graded bunds are consist of wide and relatively shallow channels across the slope and very near to the contour at a specific vertical interval. So suitable outlets are provided to drain the runoff water from the bunds to drainage channel. So the last approach is bench terraces. Bench terracing is the promising technology, particularly for the slopy area. Bench terraces are flat beds constructed across the slopes along the contours by the process of half cutting and half filling. Bench terracing control the velocity of overland flow and finally check the soil erosion. They imparts optimum rainwater utilization through increased infiltration and water use efficiency. Bench terraces break the slope of the land and reduces the degree of the slope, thereby reduce the erosion. On steep, sloping and undulating lands, intensive farming can be adopted after construction of the bench terraces. Bench terraces are recommended for slopes up to 33%. So for deeper ravines, we focus on stabilizing the gully head, gully bed and side slopes. So first we will discuss about the stabilization of gully head. Uncontrolled entry of surface runoff from gully catchment with highly erosive force over the gully head is a major factor of gully extension. Gully control measures are generally used to safe disposal of surface runoff from its catchment, prevent gully extension, harvest water, retain sediments and reduce soil erosion from gully bed and gully banks. Providing a appropriate type of spillway is an effective gully head control structure. Spillway are structures usually constructed at gully head for safe disposal of excess runoff from land area above the gully head to gully bed. Now we will discuss about the different kinds of spillways. Spillways safely convey runoff from the catchment to the gully bed, preventing head cutting. The first one is the drop spillway. It is a weir structure to control the gully head, which are not higher than 3 meter, and the drainage area is relatively large. The low state drop is also advisable from small gully head cuts. Drop spillway is generally used for gully and ravine stabilization. It is a very good erosion control structure, and they provide protection of field roads and hutments from the gullies, and they impart grade control for stabilizing channel and waterways. Now the next one is the chute spillway. It is a open channel-like structure constructed on steep slopes of the gully head for safe disposal of the surface runoff from the land above gully head to the gully bed. It is adopted to control the gully head where the overfall is in the range of 3 to 6 meter and the drainage area is relatively small. It conveys runoff from upstream into the gully without erosion, and it serves as a spillway for flood protection and water conservation. Chute spillway is preferred where the construction of check dam is not possible. Now we will discuss about the gully bed stabilization. Gully beds are stabilized using different structures like earthen plugs, bory bunds, loose boulder, gabion check dam, and masonry check dam. These structures reduce runoff velocity, trap sediments, recharge groundwater, and create conditions for vegetation establishment. So, first we will start with the earthen gully plugs. Gully plugs are small earthen barriers constructed across upper reach of the first order gullies to reduce the runoff velocity and stabilize the gullies. The size of the gully plugs depend on width, length, and bed slope of the gully, anticipated runoff, and proposed plantation in the gully. The height of the gully plug is kept 1 to 1.5 meter, top width 0.5 meter for small and medium gullies, side slope 1:1, and the length of the gully plug is kept as equal to the channel width. The spacing depends upon the gradient of the channel bed. Usually for 3% slope at every 3 meter distance, a gully plug can be constructed. It is suitable where the gully depth is less than 2 meter and where the gully bed slope is less than 10 meters. The next one is bory bund structure. It is a type of embankment constructed across the gullies using synthetic bags filled with locally available sand or soil for blocking the erosion prone streams. It is an effective method to slow down the speed of flowing water of the stream in an area. In medium and deep gullies where earthen gully plug is not able to control the runoff, bory bund is suitable measure. The height is usually kept 0.9 to 1.5 meter, top width 0.6 meter, side slope 1:1, and length shall be kept as equal to the channel width. The spacing is same as the earthen gully plugs. It is suitable where the gully bed slope is 12% and the gully depth is 2 meters. The next one is check dams. Masonry check dam constructed with cement mortar and non-disintegrating material such as bricks, stone, PCC and RCC across the gully at desired spacing. They are generally used in second and or higher order gullies. The main objective of the check dam is to hold water and fine and coarse material carried by the flowing water in the gully. The water retained in the masonry check dams also help in artificial groundwater recharging and life-saving irrigation. It reduces slope length and slope gradient by deposition of silt, which helps in stabilization of the gully and gully bank protection. Polypropylene and high density plastic check dams are also getting popular nowadays. Now we will discuss about the loose boulders. Loose boulders act as a speed breaker. The top width of the loose boulder usually kept 0.5 to 0.75 meter. It is suitable where the gully length is not more than 100 meter and where the gully catchment is 2 hectare or less. Loose boulders check runoff velocity in steep and broad gullies. They arrest excess erosion and water loss. They arrest loss of the fertile soil and they increase groundwater recharge. The next one is Gabion check dam. Gabion check dam is a semi-permanent structure. Its lifespan is 10 to 15 years and it is semi-permeable in nature. It is made of boulders in a mesh with steel wires or galvanized iron. It is used in second and third order gullies. It retains the debris and soil without ponding of the water. The next one is bamboo live check dam. At ICAR, Indian Institute of Soil and Water Conservation, Research Center Vasat, bamboo sapling were planted in two staggered rows at 2 meter into 2 meter spacing to act as the live check dam. The spacing between successive live check dams was kept 10 meter. Between the live check dam lines, intervening bamboo plantation was done with wider spacing, that is 4 by 4 meter, so that over the time the intervening plants also contribute to the soil stability. Over the 4 years, runoff reduced from 9.6% to 1.8% and soil loss from 4.2 to just 0.6 ton per hectare per year. So we can say that this is an excellent example of eco-engineering using living material. So the last one is the contour trenching. Contour trenches are dug up for in situ rainwater harvesting in the lands where the land slope is more than 30%. Contour trench break the velocity of runoff and store whole or part of the runoff. The intercepted runoff percolates through the soil slowly and is made available to the plants. Bunds are formed along the trenches on the downstream side with the material taken out of them. The expected life of a trench is about 3 to 4 years, after which the vegetation is supposed to perform the conservation function. So the contour trenches are of two types. The first one is the continuous contour trenches. These trenches are called continuous when there is no break in the length, and they can be 10 to 20 meter long across the slope depending upon the width of the field. These trenches are generally used in low rainfall areas and dug with a cross section varying from 30 by 30 cm to 40 by 45 cm. You can see the pictures. The next one is staggered contour trenches. These trenches are generally made in medium rainfall areas as there is a danger of overflow and breach in case of continuous trenches in such areas. In staggered trenching, the trenches are located directly below one another in alternate rows and in a staggered fashion. These trenches may be 2 meter to 3 meter long and the spacing between the rows may vary from 3 meter to 5. So once the ravines are stabilized, the next phase is productive utilization. Various integrated systems have been evaluated by the ICAR, Indian Institute of Soil and Water Conservation, and its centers. ICAR, Indian Institute of Soil and Water Conservation Research Center, Chandigarh, has developed a agri-horticulture system on 14% slope in Mahi ravines of Gujarat. This system involves castor plus cowpea plus sapota along with bench terracing. The result reveals that the runoff reduced by 16 to 34% and soil loss reduced by 25 to 35%. Moreover, the system productivity as cowpea equivalent yield increased by 160% compared to the sole crop. A silvo-aromatic system of Melia dubia, which is also known as malavarnim, along with lemongrass, was developed in Mahi ravines with modified planting technique such as subsurface planting, plastic mulching, and microsite improvement. Melia dubia plus lemongrass combination in Mahi ravines enhanced biomass and carbon sequestration by 255% our soil melia. It also improved the soil NPK and soil organic carbon nearly by 75 to 80%. Lemongrass showed a soil binding factor of 598, indicating an excellent soil erosion control. A hortisilviculture system was developed for the productive utilization of the Mahi ravines. This system included Malabar neem plus dragon fruit plus in situ soil moisture conservation measure, that is half moon structure. After 8 years of this experiment, results revealed that the system enhanced the total tree biomass by 183% our sole melia plantation without half moon meshing. Moreover, this system also increased the dragon fruit yield by more than 115% compared to sole dragon fruit without half moon basing. Sole melia plantation with half moon enhanced SOC stock by 79% our control. So this system demonstrates that how integrating high value horticulture with trees can restore both ecology and the profitability. In Mahi ravines, Anjan grass plus bamboo plantation produced 7 to 8 tons of the green fodder per hectare annually. Bamboo provided annual income up to 27,000 per hectare while reducing soil loss from 20 tons per hectare to less than 1 ton per hectare. More than 80% of rainfall was absorbed into the soil. This is a true example of land and livelihood rehabilitation. In Chambal ravines, a 9-year experiment showed that Olna-based system with staggered trenches reduced the runoff by 85% and soil loss by 120%. The Olna yield was maximum was 5.7 ton per hectare and 7.6 ton per hectare of Anjan grass yield was recorded. So this highlights the effectiveness of integrating fruit trees with the pasture species. Energy plantation for productive utilization of Chambal ravines. This is Acacia nilotica. After 15 years of plantation, this tree attained a height of 10 meter and DBH of 18 to 20 centimeter. The energy plantation of Acacia nilotica at 3 by 3 meter produced 2 to 3 tons per hectare per year fuel wood in a rotation of 15 years and 2 to 4 tons per hectare per year leaf fodder from the 5th year of planting. So we can say that Acacia nilotica is a wonderful tree for the productive utilization of the Chambal ravines. ICAR, Indian Institute of Soil and Water Conservation Research Center, Kota, has developed a remunerative horticulture production system for Chambal ravines. In this system, bale plants are planted at 6 by 6 meter with half moon basing. Bale comes in full bearing on 10 to 15 years of planting. It produces 100 to 300 fruits per plant and the total yield was 3 tons per hectare and the net return observed was 50,000 per hectare. So we can say this is also a wonderful production system for the Chambal ravine. Pongemia pinnata, also known as Karanj. It is a promising oil seed tree for Chambal ravines. Results reveal that after 8 years of plantation with half moon basing, it attained a height of 5.98 meter, DBH of 13.3 cm and seed yield of 2.9 kg per tree. It is good feedstock for biodiesel as it contains high oil and its oil cake is also rich in nitrogen and serves as a organic fertilizer. It fixes nitrogen and it is very much suitable for wasteland reclamation, ravine restoration and agroforestry system. Most of the agroforestry system produce a huge quantity of the leaf litter. Leaf litter play a vital role in reducing the velocity of runoff. They are effective in controlling the erosion and moreover they increase the opportunity time for the soil moisture. The fine roots of the trees and grasses play a crucial bioengineering role. They bind soil particles, enhance organic carbon, host mycorrhizal fungi, and recycle nutrients. Lemongrass, with a soil binding factor more than 500, is an excellent stabilizer for the gullies. Thus, vegetation not only restores productivity but also strengthens the soil structures. Now, I would like to conclude my topic that ravine formation is a severe form of land degradation, but it can be successfully rehabilitated through an integrated approach combining mechanical, vegetative, and biological measures. Engineering measures like contour bunds, check dams, and contour trenches must be complemented with agroforestry and silviculture system. When these lands are managed properly, degraded ravine can be transformed into productive, resilient, and eco-friendly landscapes that support both livelihood and environment. So, thank you for your kind attention, and I'll end with a thought that thousands of people can live without love, but no one can live without water. So, let us work towards healthy soil, healthy food, healthy people, and healthy planet. Thank you.